have any connections to the industry sa sound. So I had to really
Make
push.
your way
Yeah,
up.
yeah, really have.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night kung asan man kayo sa mundo. My name is Rocky.
My name is Casey, and today, once again, we have a very special guest. Please
Oh.
introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Pepe Manikan and I work here at CSB. Yay!
Yay!
Salamat, Rocky. Salamat.
Ano po ang role niyo po?
Ngayon,
In CSB.
okay, so dati nga, faculty ako, like almost a year ago. Pero now, I'm administrative. I'm in charge of all the laboratories in... Well, now it's all only SNMA, itong mga green room, yung mga ganyan. But next school year, yeah. Pero next school year, it's the whole building. So yung pati yung mga laser cutter ng mga archi, tsaka mga industrial, aaralin ko! Diba? Oh, lahat ng labs, lahat ng labs.
So what made you, or parang, how did the shift happen? Did you want to admin?
No! No, okay, so mahabang kwento siya, tsaka medyo masakit. Pero, so shortened version, kasi, basically, may CHED memorandum na kailangan may masters pag faculty ka. But, maraming loopholes, tsaka maraming, like for example, nung nakalagay dun sa CHED memorandum, hindi man talaga kailangan masters eh. Pwedeng masters or 3 years experience dun sa field tinuturo mo. I've been working in the field for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have citations, awards, and stuff like that. So it's just really weird. And then there's other stuff that, parang, sige na, wag na lang.
Sige.
Yeah, pero yeah. So they moved me here in this position kasi parang, sige, dyan ka pasok eh.
Yeah. The qualification.
Yeah, and full-time ako.
Technically.
Yeah, tas full-time ako. So they can't just remove me.
That's...
Dole yun.
Oh.
So yun, kaya
But I guess it's working out.
it is, yeah, at first I was really pissed off. Because I was like, what did I do wrong, right? But then, so I was moved here and I discovered a lot of things.
Yeah.
One was, maluwag, mas marami akong oras.
Yeah.
Kasi administrative, mostly puro email coordination, stuff like that. Unless there's a special project that I have to focus on, then it becomes a little bit busy. So what I realized was I had so much time in my hands. So culture.
Yeah.
So
syempre.
because aside from teaching here before, I'm also working outside. So I make music for films. I do sound design for films, film scoring. Yeah. Yan, mga projects sa labas. So dahil nga dami ko ng oras.
Yes.
Mas kumukuha ko ng project ngayon.
Yeah.
Kasi, okay, kung tapos na ako, trabaho.
I will do the same.
Diba?
Right.
Exactly. Tapos, now that I'm not technically faculty anymore, I can teach outside. So I'm teaching in other schools as well. So,
Wow.
hindi na as a faculty. Oo.
I
Kasi
guess
administrative faculty. Basta hindi lang babangga sa work hours ko dito. So, weekends and evening yung mga classes ko sa ibang schools.
Sir, parang kaya ko nang hulaan ang degree niyo.
Ano?
Music production?
Hindi.
Ah!
Wala pang music production nung I wish ko may MMA, may music prod, game design. Wish ko itong mga kurso na meron kayo ngayon. Meron na kami niyan.
Wala pa po.
Wala.
Communication art?
Hindi na.
Sige, it starts with the letter P.
Psychology.
No. But close. It has to do with the mind.
With the mind?
Hindi ko alam.
Philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah. Points for me. Philosophy.
Philosophy. Pero
Very
ang layo po ng job.
No, it's not. From a practical and technical standpoint, it is. But everything's connected eh.
Yes.
Philosophy.
Philosophical answers.
Yes. And I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be viewing the world the way I do if I didn't take it. So it's very important for me because it makes me connect with people easier, understand how they think, understand how they operate, what they believe in. So okay, sige.
And actually needed thing in art.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sobrang laking tulong nun. Humanities, arts,
Yeah. Very interconnected.
oo,
Yes.
lahat-lahat yan. Literature, lahat.
So, since alam na namin ang
Career.
path mo, anong, what do you call that, trajectory, what
Yeah.
happened, and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Meron po bang major challenges
Na
that you have
na-face po kayo
faced?
before
in your
getting
career?
here where you are
Oh
today?
yeah, a lot. You know, it's also related to how I ended up teaching.
Yes, well,
I never imagined myself being a teacher. Never. But I did like sharing stuff. I like sharing things with friends, and showing how to do certain things. But I never really thought of it as something na, uy, yun ang magiging path ko.
Ano ba yung una niyo kung pinlano ng pagkakasya?
Since bata ako, nung medyo black
Yes.
na ako.
sige,
pero-
count both
Nung bata ako.
Overview.
Nung bata ako, gusto ko una maging doctor. Like any
Oh.
kid. Tapos pagkatapos nun, gusto ko something to do with sciences. Tapos, naging sundalo pa. Nung mga grade 2, gusto ko maging sundalo. Bago yung sciences,
Yes.
sundalo. Tapos, hindi ko alam kung ano. And then, when I was in high school, I was involved in some school plays, got involved in the school band. Mixed ako eh. Kasi I was an athlete, I was with the varsity team, but I was also doing arts and stuff like that. So, mixed bag ako. I just like being well-rounded, I guess. And then, I had my first band when I was in high school.
Wow.
And then, gusto kong mag-music. Actually, yun yung plan ko. Gusto kong mag-music sa UP before. Yeah, pero sabi ng parents ko, alam mo anak, yung music mo nandiyan na yan. Get something na pwede mo mag-fallbakan.
Okay.
So, dapat commerce. Hindi ako pumasa. So, yun, filo. So,
It worked out.
it works. So,
Mas
yeah.
consider niyo rin pala po com arts.
Com art, actually, gusto kong sabay-sabay kunin. Kung pwede, humanities, com arts,
Yes.
psychology, philosophy. As in,
So, isa na local
mahilig.
ako.
Ano kasi ako eh, marami akong interest. So,
Explore.
yeah, so I want to learn, humanities, the arts.
Bagay na bagay po kayo sa multimedia arts field.
Yeah, now you feel why I said na
Yes po.
I wish courses like what you guys have now existed when I was in college, because I would have easily gone for either music production or MMA or film or game design. I would have easily.
And marami na rin pong yung side courses.
Oh,
Workshops,
yun na nga. Mas sobrang accessible.
And we also have electives that we
Yes.
can take.
Yeah,
na
exactly.
Design, we can take interior design.
Yes, exactly. So, I needed to tell you that because my craft, which is sound design and music, as you can see, although I love doing it, my training has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And in the industry, no matter how good you are, most of the time it's who you know and not how good you
Yes.
are.
That's true. And if you did
Connections.
not
If you don't know anyone, yes,
well,
ang
in that
hirap.
industry,
Yes, ang hirap. So, one of the biggest challenges that I had to, and I'm still working on it, it's never done, is being there. Showing up and being there na ma-recognize ka for the things that you do. So you can get more projects and get into the industry or be more entrenched in the industry para maging mas dumami yung project mo.
Yeah,
Right?
totoo.
And itatahi ko na ngayon yan doon sa hustle culture. Kaya ako nag-hustle. Kasi I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any connections to the industry sa sound. So I had to really
Make
push.
your way
Yeah,
up.
really have. Of course I had help. Pero pahirapan din talaga. And that's also the reason why I ended up in teaching. So I graduated philosophy. Ano gagawin ko? Diba? Kasi normally philo, prelo yan eh.
Yeah.
Unless maglulo ka, unless
Hindi niyo po gusto maglo.
Hindi.
Talaga.
Hindi.
Very technical.
Oo. Hindi. Tsaka,
Sobrang
going through philosophy, napag-usapan yan eh, law and justice. They're two different things.
Yes.
Like, the Philippines has so many laws, but is there justice?
Yeah!
Diba? So,
natin i-flash natin
Oh.
here sa screen ulit. And
So,
basta-
Word of wisdom.
and one of the things that I realized was, Man, sa Pilipinas, ang hirap ng justice.
Yes.
Ang hirap.
Very.
Parang hopeless na nga po.
Kaya umalis
diba?
ng lahat.
I felt that few years ago, right? So parang sabi ko pa, pag nanalo si ganito, ayoko na.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
But, anyway, wala eh.
That's true.
I mean, you're still working on it. Pero, yun na nga, so, and then I was expecting my first child at sometime in 2006, 2005. So, sabi ko, shucks, kailangan ko magtrabaho. Diba? So, since I was already doing sound and music, even when I was in college, because it's something I really like doing.
Yeah,
diba?
you do it.
Yeah, oo. So, may banda ako, ganyan. And I've always liked to do film scoring when I was younger. I attended the workshop. Among the few workshops that we had. Yeah, merong school dati. Well, I think it's still existing, but a different name na yung, ano yun? Ep05. Basta Film Institute.
Film Institute, sir. Parang sa
Ep05. Hindi. Dito sa, Manila yun.
Davao.
Dito yung, dati sa EDSA, sa tabi ng POEA. Pero, yung kay Marino Diaz, bayan oo. Doon ako may workshop ako doon. Yung mentor ko doon, isa sa mga bihasang film scorer sa Pilipinas, si Nonong Bencamino. Kapatid si Noni Bencamino, yung artista na ngayon na palaging matanda yung role. Wala matanda siya eh. So si Nonong, diba? Si Nonong yung mentor ko. So talagang pahirapan kasi nga maghahanap ka eh, diba? So gano'n. And sabi ko, sige, while applying for GMA, Channel 2, and all these other outfits, sabi ko, I needed to start working. So, I applied sa Binil. Not yet. My first job in Binil was, I was the lab tech for the music production lab. Back then in the main campus, isang maliit na room lang na. The whole MP laboratory facility was roughly this size. I mean, this room is bigger. It was like, if you cut this, divided into three, there were 3 rooms.
Parang same po sa audio lab.
Mas malaki pa ngayon eh. Ito like lahat, pagkasahin mo lahat dito. Pagkasahin mo lahat dito. Parang, ito, starting here. Tapos hati yan, may 2 kwarto. Oo. So, I was a tech, pero kasi yung trabaho na yon, kaya yung mga technicians sa ating iba ano yun eh, endo yun, 6 months. So, tinapos lang namin yung term. But at the same time, I was also the advisor for the music org at that time. So, mga 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, tinapos na yung term. And then, I had to do all sorts of other, call center pa ako, while still trying to, my brother gave me very good advice. Alam mo, sige, trabaho ka lang ng iba dyan. Para makaipon ka ng gamit, para makabili ka ng gamit mo, para makapag-launch ka ng scoring mo.
Yeah.
And I thought, once magawa ko yun, okay na ako. Pero hindi. May gamit ka na nga, wala ka namang kilala. Talaga, ang dami mong aayusin. Ang dami requirements. And then, in 2006, yun nga, I was expecting my first child. So, nag-apply na ako dito. So, yun, doon na ako nag-apply as faculty. So, starting from 2006 until 2023. Tama. Too late. Basta nung almost a year ago, tama, 23. Doon faculty ako dito. Tapos ngayon, I'm thinking of retiring na rin in Benil in the next few years, 6 years maybe. So because I have plans of making my own school. Yeah.
Music school, sir? Or?
Yes, I will start with music production and audio production because that's my bread and butter.
Yes.
But it can expand into something, video production, game design, illustration, stuff.
Siyempre mag-start talaga sa
Hindi. May mga ways para magawa mo yun. Clue! MMA has to do with it. Online.
Online. Yes.
Diba?
Yeah, it's easier now.
Yeah.
Everything's accessible online.
Because of the hustle culture that I experienced, and you learn, you try to find, kasi one of the things that it ingrains in you is to humanap ka ng paraan.
Yes po.
So,
there's a way.
Yes.
So if you really think about it, lalo na yung mga ganyang bagay na kaya to, yung maghahanap ka ng paraan kung paano pwede magkatuto.
Actually, mindset po talaga.
Yeah, it's really that. So yun yung biggest challenge. It's really number one, it's making your work sustainable as a multimedia artist. You guys are lucky because you have a course, you have a diploma, you have skills. It was ingrained in you. When we were growing up, wala namang school on music production eh. Wala namang school on graphic design masyado. Well, meron sa arts. Ganyan. So you had to learn hands-on,
And
On your own.
And it's also
Walang
hard to
YouTube,
get a
wala.
job in that
Oh,
field.
yeah.
Kasi wala kang
Kasi
degree.
nung una, ano ba yan? Oo. So talagang, sige nga, kaya mo ba? Kaya po! Diba? So,
And mas may ano po dati, sir, parang mas may tawag stereotype.
Stigma.
Stigma
oh.
sa mga arts courses.
Oo.
Compared po
na
ngayon.
arts, walang pera dyan. Oo. And I would always say, no, it's maraming pera dyan. Ano yun eh? Parang baraha yan, diba?
Opo.
Depende kung paano mo ilalaro yung baraha. Or chess.
Yeah,
Depende kung paano mo
Oo.
ilalaro yung...
And
How are you
Yes.
gonna establish yourself?
Yun
as an
yung
artist?
tunay na diskarte. Hindi yung discarding ng lalamang ka sa ibang tao. Kasi the word discarte has been, in the past few years, has been tarnished by some influencers na parang,
Carpentry.
yeah, na parang you step on someone to go up.
Yeah, I get that.
Where discarte is not supposed to be that. It's finding ways.
Yeah.
There's
There's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kailangan we find ways.
O diba? BDO, hanap ka ng paraan.
Sana po ano sponsor natin.
Right.
Oo.
Hanap ka ng paraan.
Work smart, not hard.
Yes.
Oh, tanong mo si Zeke.
And both,
Oo.
smart and hard.
Work smart and work hard and find connections. Okay.
Yo-
Okay.
yo.
That is the main.
Yep, yun yung formula eh.
Since
Sa Pilipinas lang.
Opo, parang pag may connections po, parang may masiskip kang mga steps
Yes.
eh.
na sometimes unnecessary or like sometimes parang mas mapapadali.
Mas
Oo,
mapapabilis.
tinagalit.
Mas
Aminin na
mapapabilis.
natin yun. Aminin na
Oo.
natin.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the way of life.
Yep, that's the way of life.
So nasabi niyo nag-hustle na kayo.
Yes,
From
familiar
the
na po
beginning,
kayo
familiar
sa
na po
culture.
kayo sa hustle culture.
Mm.
I just wanted to ask what your definition of hustle culture is. Kasi parang based on our research, hindi pa po siya
Klaro.
Yes,
klaro and
po
hindi siya
defined
established.
talaga.
That's why we also wanted to ask everyone we're
Right.
interviewing, surveying.
Yeah. That's a very good question because yung pag-glorify ng hustle culture, especially in your generation, has this negative connotation na parang kasi the companies are pushing you ganyan-ganyan na hustling in exchange for your life,
Yes,
right? And that is wrong. I would, ganon. But here's a sad reality of it. Sa Pilipinas, ganon talaga.
Mhm.
It's not because we're, especially my generation, I don't want to sound old, but, well, I am old, but it's a way of life kasi noon pa eh.
Yes.
And yun yung sad sa kanya. Kaya siya naging kultura kasi may mga systems in place na hindi na inaalaw yun. Number one, as an artist sana, better compensation.
That's
Hindi ka magdo-double triple job kung yung
Yes,
trabaho
po.
mo sapat.
nasusustain
Yes.
ka na gano'n.
Yes.
Yung paid
Especially
well.
in this
Paid
economy.
fair.
Sabihin na natin, sige, maliit yung sweldo, pero yung mga iba pang bagay, like sige, you can work from home. Ikaw naman gagawa ng design, hindi mo naman kailangan pumasok sa opisina. Hindi, pero may mga kumpanya, hindi, kaya pala pasok dito. So yung pera mo pang commute, pang kain, pang, di ba?
True.
Yung oras mo sa sarili mo, yung pagod mo,
Gonna get ready pa.
ubos,
Morning,
pare. Di ba?
happy.
Ubos. Yeah! Maubos yun. Pero pwede naman kasi magtrabaho sa bahay. Di ba? Na pwedeng, yun nga, naging negative siya eh. Pero kasi, in my understanding of it, it was really about wag kang tutulog-tulog, gumalaw ka. That is how I was introduced to the hustle culture.
Yeah.
Yes, na parang make it happen, do whatever you need to do.
Make moves
Um,
to get.
Para makaangat ka, na wala ka namang inaangat sa ibang tao. Pero yun nga, ngayon, it's more like,
Parang
tutuloy lang.
Oo, parang tutulog. Kasi
Hindi, tsaka tutuloy mo
parang
lang
gano'n
sa
na po siya ngayon.
yes,
Kaya
dahil
wala
lagot ka kay
kang
boss.
kasama,
Yes.
Whereas before,
Hustle culture also noon
Ay, okay.
was more
Ano nangyari?
Nagkakat.
internal motivation na you want to do more for yourself. Ngayon,
Sige,
pala.
yung
Pero,
naging definition niya is gawin mo yan or else.
You're gonna die.
Or else. Because there's a higher power or society
Pushing you.
because you can't afford this, you can't afford that, you can't afford basic needs or whatever. So you really need to do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's not because gusto mong umangat,
Yeah.
it's because yun yung minimum para mabuhay.
And that wasn't always the case.
No,
That
it wasn't.
always the
So
case.
parang dati, consciously, nagpa-partake sila in hustle culture. Ngayon,
Yes.
unconsciously na.
It was a positive thing.
Yeah.
Na parang there's so many opportunities there, huwag kang tamad. Ngayon, hindi ka naman tamad, pero they're demanding so much of you and labeling that as hustle culture. Hindi. Dapat, kung love mo yung
Kailangan
trabaho mo,
lang,
yung company, kasi ganyan.
Dati kasi 9 to 5, di ba? You
Ah,
have
yun.
all of these benefits.
Mm.
And now, even if
Ay,
you
ayan.
haven't...
Yan pala, because you mentioned that, tas yun na ba, inapunta yung usapan natin bago nga.
Yeah.
Yung
yun nga eh.
before kasi, may mga kumpanya, yung mga big companies, kaya yung flow ng mga graduates, mga tao noon is, after I graduate, I'm gonna try to go for a big job, big company.
For
Because
the benefit.
yes, because in those times, earlier on, the companies would actually take care of you. May pabahay, may pakotse, may paaral, may whatever, may gasolina. And yes, so if you were in part of that company, yes, you would give your life because you're being taken care of.
Yeah,
You
and
feel
masaya ka.
safe.
You
feel
have all
secure.
of these things
Exactly.
that you need to
Right.
live a happy life.
Right. Now, if you remove that, and companies are now, marami ng graduate ng MMA, marami ng graduate ng ganito. Anyone's replaceable. If you have that kind of mentality sa isang company, guess what? They're not gonna invest on someone anymore. They're not gonna give pabay. They're not gonna give pascolar.
Kasi
Yeah.
parang
Because anyone is replaceable. That's what they think.
Sobrang true.
Yeah.
Sobrang true.
So ngayon, yung tao, for them to be able to afford the pabahay, the pakotse, the paaral, guess what? More!
Give me more, give me
And
everything.
also, ngayon, ang mga companies need 2 years experience.
Oh.
Kahit fresh grad, 2
Oh.
years experience.
Saan ko kukunin yun? Wala namang kumukuha, di ba? So, yes.
So parang feeling mo dapat during college.
So I actually
Doon pa pasok.
instilled sa akin in college pa lang na parang kailangan marami ka ng org, kailangan marami kang
Para
ganito.
after work, after ka mag-college, maganda na yung work.
Hindi nga org eh. As in, nagsa-side hustle ka naman.
Opo.
About my experience.
Normalize na po talaga siya sa batch.
Yeah. That's why also we chose the topic hustle culture kasi parang
Kita po namin siya.
kita po namin siya and we wanted to see if it was only us. Was
Kung
it
negative po talaga.
Yeah.
was it also instilled in the generations past?
Yeah.
Well, how was it like?
Kasi for us, it's very negative po.
Yeah,
Very negative. Like,
Kasi nga may toxicity involved.
yes.
I agree. But, pasok natin ng konting philo. But, anything can be a trick of the mind. If you change, it is, okay, I'm not saying it's not, but it is toxic the way it is being run now. But you can also think of it in a different way. If you think of it na, okay, so this is the minimum I have to do to be able to live properly. You can also think of it that way, na parang, sige, ito na talaga eh.
Oh.
And then you take that as part of reality. And then, somehow, kasi toxicity has really, although it affects you physically, it really affects you here. But if you change your mindset about it, pwedeng mabawasan at least yung to. Mapapagod ka pa rin.
Yeah.
Magkakasakit ka pa rin. Pero kahit papaano, at least mas may purpose ka na. Alam mong, kasi once you acknowledge the problem and embrace the problem, you can see other solutions.
It's kind of like realizing na parang, okay, maybe right now I can't, parang nakakalungkot na lang isipin and hindi ka na lang makaka-function if inisip mo na parang, I can't solve this big problem
Yes.
that is in front of
Or may alternatives pala.
me.
Like, in the previous generation, kasi kayo, Z na kayo eh.
Yung
Yung millennials, marami mga estudyante mga millennial, yan yung na rin din na-realize na grabe, ganito, ganyan, ganun. Hassle sobra. Ang napapansin ko nga sa MMA graduates for your batch and even the older ones, one of the fears that they have is, sir, makakakuha kaya ako ng trabaho. And
May mararating po kaya.
oo, and you know what I always answer them kasi nakita ko na rin sa previous batches. Wala kayong problema sa trabaho. Lalo na binild MMA, kukunin kayo kagad. In the first 4, 5, 6 months after you graduate, minsan nag-OJT ka pala, kinukuha ka na eh. Kukunin ka na. Ang problema, hindi ka nababayaran ng tama. Kasi ang dami ko nakitang estudyante before na kinuha sila kunyari video editor sa company ito. So hired ka officially as video editor. And then, may lalapit, uy, di ba, Rocky, ano ka, di ba? MMA ka? Opo! Baka pwede naman paayos yung ID natin kasi gagawa tayo. So ngayon, kasi di ba nag-graphic design ka?
Ay, opo, sir.
Opo, sige, pagawa. Tapos hindi nila binabaran yung mga gano'ng mga extra. Ay, sama ka naman sa shoot.
Nangyayari parang charity po siya.
Oo. May mga kumpanya na binabayaran ka doon. Pero mas marami yung hindi.
You have to know what to choose, how to be compensated fairly.
Kasi paano kung sabihin mo, ay, ayoko kasi video editor ako.
Oo, di ba? Aawain ka na. Di ba?
Aawain ka na ng buong team.
Oo. Pero kaya ko nasabi, kasi ganun nga yung mga problema nila. And then, a lot of them were like, you know what? Then, na-compound pa ng pandemic. And then, a lot of them were like, sobrang disillusion na, pucha, kala ko ganyan, when I grew up, ganyan. And then they go back and reflect, ano ba talaga gusto kong gawin? And then, you know what? Some of these guys, or a lot of these guys, kaya ang daming mga bata, 30s, early 40s, Gen Millennials, who are now living in the surf towns. Balel, kasi na-realize, ito naman talaga yung gusto kong gawin.
Gusto lang ng peace of mind.
Oo. So, umalis sila sa mga trabaho nila, kung ano man yung naipon nila, gumawa sila ng bar doon, ng cafe, ng whatever.
Si Miss Nadia po.
Exactly!
Nag-go po siya nung fresh grad siya.
Diba? And then now they have businesses there. So nung nakita nila yung realidad ng hustle culture sa Manila, right, na toxic, na-realize, kasi para na magpagtayo ng negosyo, mag-hustle ka pa rin naman eh. Yeah. Pero ngayon, bumalik ka sa positive
na
kasi
parang,
gusto mo yung ginagawa mo.
I can hustle but I'm at the beach.
Yes.
Parang ganun, I'm
sabi
enjoying
ka,
my
pag
life.
pipili ka ng course sa college, pili
Yung
mo
trip
yung gusto
mo.
mo, kahit hindi practical. Kasi hindi mo
Eventually, totoo yan.
You're gonna succeed. I mean, before pa you're gonna succeed if you hustle talaga. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. I guess it's viewed as a negative thing now.
It's being viewed as a negative thing now because because look at it, you're overworked for something that you are underpaid for, diba?
Yes.
No, you're worth.
Hindi mo nakikita
hindi
equal yung balik eh. Versus kung may negosyo ka, na baby mo yan, nag-hustle ka, uy, tumas yung numbers ko. Happy ka. Dahil para sa'yo yun eh. Para sa'yo yun eh. Hindi naman para sa ibang tao yun eh. You're doing it for yourself. Kaya siya positive. So, yun yung sinasabi ko na once you embrace the problem and apply a bit of creative thinking and a dose of reflection, ito ba talaga gusto ko? Di ba?
I guess also nga yung negative thought process na yun comes from also na parang they're just working to survive.
Yes! Yun na nga, kasi ang taas na ng minimum eh.
Yeah.
Para mabuhay ka,
Gusto ko lang i-add doon, ang taas din ng minimum para sa work. Alam niyo yung potato corner. Parang kailangan, graduate ka nito. Kailangan
graduate?
Potato corner para may staff. Di ba, alam niyo ba yun?
Hindi.
Kailangan ko may degree ka in, kunyari, com arts, kailangan meron
Really?
pleasing smart, kailangan straight ang ngipin
What the hell?
mo para maging staff ng potato corner.
So kung pahit ka, hindi ka pwede gawin.
Oh my
Mukha
God.
kang patatas, hindi ka pwede.
Kaya pala ang ganda ni ate sa baba. Joke
Why?
Yeah,
Baka.
So, ayun na. Pasok doon na. Ang taas ng standards.
Yeah.
Tapos, ang baba ng balik.
Yeah.
I get why it's toxic, and I guess what I realized from this talk right now is there's a way you can still turn it around.
Oh yes,
Not follow the crowd of.
I think that the key here is once you decide to do things for yourself or for your purpose, things get a little brighter. You're dalawa yan eh. Do it for yourself, which is a little bit more selfish, or do it for purpose. Parang, di ba nga may sa Japanese meron yung term, yung ikigai?
Yung work and
Yung
life balance.
yung three main questions is there something that you love doing, and then is that something that you're doing can benefit humanity, and then is that something that you're doing that can benefit humanity, pwede ka bang kumita?
Yeah.
If you hit those three, kahit gaano ka toxic yan, may purpose ka, masaya ka, may purpose ka, kumikita ka naman.
And I think mawawala yung toxicity
Mawawala.
at some point.
Oo.
If
Sa'yo,
you're hitting
internally.
internally.
Oo.
Hindi sa world.
Hindi naman.
Oo.
Kasi malay mo yung mga let's say let's say capitalists na you know, na parang ikigay nila ng pera.
Ikigay nila. Actually, hindi ko alam kung anong purpose nila. Pero, di ba?
Sila alam nila.
Oh,
pero
sila alam nila. Pero
them,
ikaw, yung empleyado, alam mo ba? Di ba? Hindi. And even if alam mo, alam mong yung ginagawa mo, hindi nagbe-benefit yung iba eh. Yung kumpanya na.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, parang feel ko tuloy may cycle. Kasi ngayon, di ba, biglang nag-open ng maraming business. Feeling ko dahil yun sa trauma nila sa hustle culture nung employee sila. So,
Yeah.
parang agawan ng business, sobrang dami.
That's one. And also because during the pandemic, ang daming eye-opening
Yes, yun.
realities. Number one, people started realizing ang ikli ng buhay. Anong gagawin ko?
Ang ikli ng buhay and now having one job is not fulfilling me, not supporting me. So might as well do what I want to do.
Actually, it's kasi when you state it that way, it's more of economic na parang mahal ang buhay. Pero what I realized with a lot of people, it's not just the economic, but it's really more of what am I doing with my life? It's naging internal purpose na. Yun nga, diba ang dami natin nakitang mga kwento na nung pandemic, nagtatrabaho siya sa ABS or whatever, and then nagsarado. So, gumawa siya ng ubi pandesal, tapos pumutok. Ang daming gano'n!
I guess it's also parang everyone has gotten the time to parang reconnect with themselves also.
Yes.
Na parang,
napilitan.
okay,
Kaya napaliwan ng mga negosyo.
Yes.
Kasi parang na-realize nila, like for some of those people who were laid off, they're like, I offered my life, I gave my life to that company, and then just like, you're out.
Tanggal.
So bakit ko pa gagawin ulit yun? Bakit pagkatas ito lahat, mag-a-apply na naman ako sa isa pang kumpanya na ganun din mag-isip.
Ang parang, ayoko na nang hindi work from home. Ito na
diba?
yung deserve ko na job.
Di ba? Parang,
Kasi parang possible pala siya.
pwede,
Now
exactly.
now na may internal reflection ako, I didn't have to follow this
Yes. Yes. And
So nice.
kaya ka babalik ngayon sa positive na hustle culture na ito na yung realidad. Namulat ka na eh. Ito yung realidad. Ganyan yung mga kumpanya, ganito. So anong gagawin ko about it? Might as well do something, focus my life on something that I really want to do.
Kasi
ganun eh.
And then, once you accept na, okay, I'm gonna hustle, but I'm gonna hustle for something
For
that
me.
fulfills me.
Yes,
For my
exactly.
Basically, that's
And
basically,
even if you do get
And
back
you
into
do-
a toxic company, you're not as affected because you know you're doing it for you.
yeah, and hindi
Yes.
ka
May
na
goal ka na.
hindi ka na rin mawawala kasi parang you're looking forward into parang may motivation ka to keep going even if it's toxic.
Pag nagbago kasi yung perspective, automatic na rin gagalaw
Yes.
ang buong body.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes.
Hindi mo na hinihila sarili mo. Parang,
Totoo.
Ano?
Hindi na siya.
Wait, what? Yeah. Mismo.
Ang ganda ng buong topic, sir. So, parang last question na po
Sige,
natin.
last na?
Last
Yes!
Sige.
Actually, naka 30 minutes na
Actually,
tayo.
30
I think
minutes
ano
na.
lang, 10 to 15 lang ang podcast natin.
And
But
ganda-
yeah,
Ang
Ang
ganda
dami
ng
yung
mga
i-edit.
sinasabi ni sir kasi philosophical siya.
yes, I love it.
So, for the
Hindi
last
siya,
question.
lang,
Yeah.
Serious
Hindi siya,
level.
actually,
Nasa serious level.
na-hit niya lahat ng research natin eh.
Talaga?
Yes po,
Yes,
sir.
Wow.
Pati po yung sa dati na practical, tapos pati rin po yung sa toxic productivity.
Economics,
Nakuha na sir lahat.
everything.
Okay, for our last question po, magbigay po kayo ng one piece of advice sa mga aspiring multimedia artists.
Sige, if I had to give one, the most important thing is to find yourself first. Kasi once nahanap mo na yung sarili mo, na ito ba talaga yung gusto mong gawin or ito yung gusto mong tahakin, everything will align. Everything will crystallize. Alam mo na, bakit ko, kasi a lot of people, hindi nila know your why, di ba? Hindi nila alam kung bakit nila ginagawa yun. And there-
why?
Ito yan, remember may mga, we see grumpy old people
Yes.
na may pera naman sila.
Yeah.
Pero bakit ganyan pa rin sila mag-isip? Napaka-insecure, and maybe because they didn't know what their purpose is.
May sinusundan lang
Hindi
sila.
po sila masaya.
Sumunod
kailangan
sila
gumawa
sa
ng pera
status quo, sumunod sila na kasi pagtrabaho dapat ganito. Akala ko naman pag nakabili na ako ng unang sasakyan ko, okay na ako. Or nakabili na ako ng pangatlong bahay ko. Hindi. Wala siyang purpose eh. Pero pag mahanap mo yung sarili mo, yun nga, si Ekigay. Pag nahanap mo si Ekigay mo, parang Egay lang yun. Parang pag nahanap mo si Egay, pag nahanap mo yan, everything will be clear. Your state of mind will be healthier. Your outlook in life will be healthier. You know you're doing things because you want to do them for yourself.
Gusto mong bumangon in the morning.
Yes! Yan! Yung commercial na yan, di ba? Alam mo,
sobra!
Kaya yung actually maganda yung commercial yun, yung bakit ka bumabangon sa umaga. Or para kanino ka bumabangon. Para sa sarili ko. Bakit? Tayo, di ba? Ayoko na. You're fed up with
what I want.
Yes. So ngayon pa lang, gawin nyo yan. Actually, sorry ba kung haba.
Hindi.
Pero pwede nyo i-edit to eh.
We're just gonna, okay.
Actually, alam mo ito, kukwento ko lang yung, I saw this thing happening in MMA. So, when I entered MMA in 2006, the program was relatively still new. And you know naman, back then, Benil's stigma, di ba? Dati ang ano niya is bagsakan, ano yan.
Yes po, bagsakan ng mga salasina.
Even actually nung
Actually,
29, kasi ako 119 ako. Tapos nag-stop ako nung pandemic, I shifted from interior to MMA. Nung 2019 yun yung yun yung pumapasok akong Benil, yun yung mindset. Pero ngayon parang hindi na siya ngayon. Na parang 2024
Ano na siya ganito? Ay wow, Benil ka?
Oo.
Ganun na siya.
Nakakatawa yan kasi ako, yung batch namin talaga, Benil, bagsakan, blah, blah, blah. And then, there were two things that changed my mind about that. One was, this was years later, when I learned about the life of Saint Benil, na siya naman talaga pala yung bagsakan ni Saint Lasal. So yung mga estudyante hindi maturuan ng Saint Lasal kasi may learning disability or makulit lang talaga or ano, hindi mahirapan mo. Benil would take on that. He took on, so parang, napaya ako sa sarili ko. So, it's really living the mission. It's really living the ikigai. Okay. And they're making money out of it.
I
mean, yes.
Okay. I mean, it's fulfilling the purpose. It's filling the gap. Okay na rin
yung
naman.
Benil yung naging center for experimental education, progressive education. Sige, let's take on different kinds of learners. Kasi that's the mission of it, right?
So ngayon pag pinakinggan mo, parang positive pala.
Yes, it is! Kaya nga parang nung nalaman ko, di ba, exactly.
Yes, po,
Nung hindi ko pa alam yun, na parang, bagsak negative. But when parang, wow, they're doing really great job.
Yes.
Diba? To be able to change that stigma. And now, Benil is no longer known as bagsakan. It's now known more for, it's an art school, it's a culinary art school, there's a game design program there. I mean, yes, ito pa rin bagsakan. Pero dati bagsakan. Pero hindi siya ngayon. Diba? So that's the first kwento. The second kwento was, so when I first got here, I had that stigma na parang, siguro yung mga estudyante dito mahina, ganyan. You know, very condescending, very negative. And then, my teaching style kasi is I get close to the people, I, make friends with students and stuff like that. And then, so nakilala ko sila. And, nakakatay akong tanongin sila, bakit ka nag-Benil? Kasi nga, babagsakan to. Alam mo, napahiya ako kasi sagot sa akin ng estudyante. At that time, this was sometime around 2006, 2007. Sir, ito lang naman kasi yung ganitong kurso sa Pilipinas eh. Nga no?
That's true.
Nung time na yun.
It's pioneering.
Nung time na yun. Nga no?
Hanggang ngayon po sir, may mga bagong courses na wala po sa iba.
I get it now when you're pioneering, people are gonna think you look stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what floored me was these people chose to be here. They found their purpose. This is what I want to do. Phil Chinese families, students, oh my God, worse. Yung mga Phil Chai students, yung iba sa kanila, yung mga babae, talagang harsh na treatment minsan sa mga traditional Phil Chai families. Mas harsh pa nung nalaman na gusto mag-arts. Like, isang bagsak mo lang, tatanggal ka naman. Yung iba nga, nagtatrabaho as barista sa Starbucks, tas nagtatrabaho rin sa McDonald's para mabayaran nila yung tuition. Because they wanna be here. They wanna be here.
I remember I was doing a review center grade 12 to enter college. The teacher or instructor was asking everyone, what school you want to get into? DLSU, Ateneo, UP. Dumating sa akin, sabi ko, Benil. The instructor was like, bakit Benil? Why not LaSalle? So parang that kind of is a full circle moment for me now na parang I'm glad I chose Binil.
Oo.
Parang kasi,
Mas malaki na ang binil, mas skill na ang binil kaysa sa ano. Now, fast forward. So before, students would come here because they chose to be here because this was the only course offering that course. Now, victim of its own success, our MMO program is I would say the best in the country, the biggest in the country as well. So dumami na ngayon yung mga estudyante na when I would get to know the students, now when I would ask them, there would still be people that I chose binil. Dumadami na yung, actually hindi ko rin alam kung bakit ako nandito. Sabi lang ni Mami, okay daw dito. Or because mahilig kasi ako mag-drawing, so sabi ni Mami dito. Parang, so hindi mo alam kung bakit ka nandito.
It's parang
rules and
the
laws
people
ng
are
course
following the crowd na
Yes.
because Benil is getting the
Oh,
notoriety
yes.
it deserves.
A status quo na rin.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing here. The amount of work that we used to give to our students, mas marami yung noon kaysa sa yung ngayon. Pero sila, humahustle culture sila. Kasi, see, there we go again. Kasi nakikita nila yung value noon for them to grow in their skill. So kahit mahirap, kahit matrabaho, push sila. Ngayon, ang dami nagreklamo, but when they graduate, sir, buti na lang pala. Ganun yung training namin sa Binil. Walang tulugan kasi pala talaga sa trabaho. Oo. May para saan ba ang college? Hinahanda kayo sa trabaho.
That's true.
The sad part is, kasi ganun talaga yung kultura ng trabaho natin dito. Ganun eh.
You have to adjust it.
Yeah,
to the reality.
May mga kilala ako na designer, production people, video editors, literally they would stay a month na hindi umuwi. Editing in ABS, in GMA. Pare, walang uwian. Ganun talaga yung industriya. It's sad, but ganun talaga yung industriya. And yun na nga, kasi din dati iba yung curriculum ng old batch sa new batch. Noon kasi, it was very skill-oriented and you had multiple subjects for, halimbawa, video had 3, video 1, 2, 3. Writing, and then production, and then post. Audio had 2, 3D had 3. Planning, modeling, tas lighting. Talagang mas specific. Ang nangyari ngayon, ginanon.
Isang audio, isang photo.
Kaya medyo nahihirapan din talaga kayo kasi for example, like web. And
po sa
graphics.
web, biglang boom.
Okay, just to give you an idea. So before, back then, wala pa yung film, wala pa yung photo, wala pa yung animation. It was just MMA. But we found out that there are lots of students who went into MMA just for film, just for animation, just for photo. Kaya nanganak ng film, then, And we were asking ourselves, okay, if nanganak na ng film, nanganak na ng animation, etc., ano ang MMA? So we realized, okay, our core would be interactivity, web, and graphics and design. So dapat yun yung mararaming subject. And for some time, yung curriculum na yun, kasi maraming beses na tayo nag-change yung curriculum. They had like 6 subjects just for web, 6 subjects just for interactive, 6 subjects just for graphic design. Kasi yun yung core, right?
Ngayon po iba na.
Right. Now it's just 1. Right? So yes, you're compressing 6 subjects worth of web into 1.
Yeah.
You're compressing 6 subjects worth of graphics and interactivity into 1.
I think there's pros and cons in that kasi parang ako, nahanap ko talaga yung anong gusto ko gawin. That made sense. But also, there are times na parang hirap ako kasi parang overwhelming na parang for this subject I have to learn this new program, new software.
Whereas before you had 3, 4 subjects, 5 subjects to take your time. You didn't, that one topic that you have for 1 week, that was 1 subject before.
There's time to get familiar with it.
Yes.
Kasi it spans for a long
So ngayon, yung hustle culture, kaya yung hustle culture ngayon, gets ko kung bakit yung mga estudyante have that negative connotation even while they're still in college. Because, ang bilis right? Ang bilis ng kaya lang naman nangyari din yung curriculum na gano'n. Kasi yung CHED, kasi noon wala pang governing body about MMA programs. So anyone had, they can offer whatever. Ngayon, we have to follow that kasi meron na.
Yeah.
Yung CHED, ganun yung gusto. So parang
yung din pa kasi bago lang ang MMA.
Yeah.
Exactly. Experiment siya.
Yeah, so ayun yung ibig sabihin na meron kasing mga systems in place in society na wala tayong magagawa. You have to follow that.
And adjust.
And adjust to that. So, gustuhin man natin baguhin yung sistema natin. Hindi, kasi kailangan natin sundan mo na yun. Yeah.
So it's up to us na.
Pero I think naman, the amount of workload naman is fair.
Ngayon,
To the
mas fair na
amount-
talaga.
Yun nga, it's fair to the amount of
Oo.
different subjects you have to take.
Compared noon talaga. Tapos noon, hindi pa masyado nag-uusap yung mga track. So, kada subject may kanya-kanya ano. Ngayon nga, nagsa-holding hands na yun. Oh, ito, yung ginawa mo dito, pwede ito na rin yung project mo dito. Tayo na. Pero yun. Find yourself.
Find yourself.
AKA
That's
find
the
yourself.
Find
Oo,
yourself.
find yourself.
Yun ang two
Punta na tayo
words.
ng Siargao at magtrabaho doon.
Yes,
Oo.
and magtayo ng cafe.
Or sa Baguio, or sa, di ba, wherever.
Yes.
Opo.
So, sobrang dami kong natutunan.
Ako rin actually, parang I have to sit down and process.
Unpack.
Yes, marami. And thank you so
Yes.
much, sir,
You're welcome.
for
Thank you
your
din.
input and your insights. Sobrang
Thanks for
dami
having
po
me.
namin nalaman.
Yeah.
And super helpful po dito sa inyo.
Yeah.
Surely.
Super
Super.
hit all the...
Kasi dinaanan ko na
Yes.
lahat ng mga yan eh.
Yeah.
Nakatanong niyo.
Papunta ka pa lang
Ayun.
paborito si sir.
Parang ano pala si Sir, parang ano to, autobiography.
Yeah.
Interview of your life.
dinaanan ko. Exactly. Hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin yung mga dinadaanan ko. Na parang how do I make myself more relevant as a scorer, as a sound designer, as a...
Yeah, us soon na yan. We're
Us
on the
soon.
way.
Eh,
So,
at
ayun,
least,
thank you so much.
thank you
Ay,
Sir, na
Thank you,
mga
guys.
skip kami ng steps. Kasi
Yes,
nakaka information.
Yes, natulungan tayo.
Yo.
So that's our second to the last episode. And thank you for being here and making it this far. So thank you to Sir
Thank you, sir.
Pepe, and yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.